narcissists, they often talk about the freedom and the relief, and they talk about the way it feels after finally escaping the chaos. And another side of that is the grief. It's not just the grief of losing a partner. It's a lot deeper than that. You grieve the time that you lost. You grieve the future plans that you made. You grieve him, the person, the illusion you believed in. And I think the hardest part is looking inward. And I'm grieving myself. I grieve for myself, what I lost, and the person that I used to be, and the person that I believed I was becoming, and the dreams that I was going to fulfill, the goals, the identity I built, while I was still loving somebody who was never really there. That loss is really deep. It cuts deeper than anything I've ever felt before. Even deeper than his betrayal. Not by much, though. That betrayal did cut me very deep. But this kind of mourning, it's really hard to explain to people who haven't lived in it. And I'm not being dramatic at all. It's not just breaking up with anybody. Because when you're fake discarded and they never really expected you to not want to reconcile with them, and then they turn it on you, acting like you're the one that walked away from the relationship. That walking away, it can feel like you're abandoning a wounded child. You know, I talk about the 4-year-old little toddler, how he behaved as such. I knew he was fragile. He told me he was very emotional. I knew he was broken. I accepted that broken side of him, who I tried so hard at one point to love and protect, because I knew he was a wounded child, and he was abused as a young child. And at the same time, it could feel like he was losing a mom. He saw me as a mom. He's losing the person who once made him feel seen, chosen, and special, even though at least I knew that love was an illusion. I don't know what he thought of it, but he sure as hell played around with it. So the grief comes in both directions. And you feel like you lost somebody you were caring for. It actually feels like a death. And even though he treated me so poorly, I still felt like I lost somebody who I thought once cared for me. And then I remember the betrayal, and I realized, oh yeah, he really didn't love and care for you as you thought. And so that's why when you get into the feelings, it's unbearable at times. And that's why it feels like something inside of you has been torn apart. And that's something you don't recover from overnight. It takes a while. It takes time. And so, again, this is not just healing from a regular breakup. It's healing from narcissistic abuse. It's not about moving on. It's about slowly finding your way back to yourself. And it's about realizing that the love you were looking for all that time, the safety you were trying to build, and the worth you kept trying to prove over and over again, and it was never just good enough. Those things were never meant to come from another person in the first place. Nope, it never will come from anybody else in the first place. All those things are meant to come from within you. And so, when you look inward and you see yourself, you're still there. You're not lost. You just need to find yourself again. You're still there. You're buried underneath all that pain, underneath all the confusion, underneath the grief. You're still there. And the healing, it's not about it's not about me trying to become somebody I'm not or trying to become somebody new. It's about trying to go back to who I was before I forgot my own value. And I know it's going to take a lot longer, and it's going to take more patience, and it's going to take compassion for myself to keep going even when I feel like I'm just a failure. And I feel like nobody would ever want me. After what I survived, it wasn't anything small. Just my healing journey. It's not easy. I don't know. Just guess I'm rambling on.